on, good people? It's the Virgo verdict. It's your man Will B, Shirazi, and Tracy Ricks, man. We're gonna get down and talk about some things that's down and dirty and whatever it is that comes across our mind. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. This is the Virgo verdict. Let's go. What's the topic today, y'all?
Okay, y'all, we gonna do a little something different today. Um, I want to play something for y'all, and I want to get your real time reaction to this. I'm not even gonna tell you what the topic is. I just want to know what you think, if you agree or disagree, and I'm gonna tell y'all what I think. You want to hear it? Here it
But
goes.
see, that's a real father who's telling me right from wrong. So my point of telling you is when a man comes in and says, why didn't you pick up your phone? To fatherless girls, that's controlling. To a woman who had a father who loved her, who served me, who doted on me. Do you hear what I'm saying? To me, you're a husband. Now, if you let me go out to 10, 12, 11 o'clock at night and you don't show any concern, guess what? I wouldn't gaslight you. You couldn't cut me off. I'd ask you not to call me no more. Dang. Because how come you weren't concerned about your woman that you have an intent of wanting to marry or an intention of being a family man or a husband? So I'm just showing you that men out there, when you get women who are not used to what protection looks like, you don't need to down her or you don't need to, and disempower her, but you need to check with yourself and say, wait a minute. I want a woman, whether she's fatherless or not, who is open and receptive to a man protecting her. Yeah. Because this is the thing, if ladies want a man to provide, then you gotta let that man also protect. Because you can't ask to have all your bills paid, but then you don't want this man to be able to put boundaries around what is conducive for him to be activated in a way that wants to love and provide for you. Because men need activation too. Y'all do matter and y'all do exist in your emotions is what I'm saying. It's not always about, happy wife, happy life. I do like that. I do love that because I'm a wife. And it's true. And it's true. However, what I'm saying is happy wife, right. That's the part. Right. Activates things in me to make sure I'm feeding you to continue to create this happy life. Exactly. And sometimes it looks like, what do you need? But see, that's a real father who's telling.
Okay, y'all, let's get into it. I'm really interested in what y'all think about that. I have a perspective. I'm a woman. But I want to hear your specific perspective, particularly because you are men, and I want to know, I respect and admire your opinions, and I want to know what you think about that subject. So, um, why didn't you answer your phone is often received negatively by fatherless women. Do you agree with what she said or disagree?
Go ahead.
I mean, it is that's one part of it. I mean, that's just one of the examples, but there's many examples of when a woman doesn't have a strong, and it's not that she's just fatherless because a lot of women have been raised by dudes that's bitches. So they're there as fathers, but they're not providing any true fatherly strength or masculinity because a lot of too many men say, well, whatever your mother says, well, whatever she says, and they won't put their foot down on anything. And it's like, if you don't want my direction, you don't need my protection, right? So, and whenever I've been around women that have had strong father figures, the way I speak doesn't bother them. Because they know I'm not trying to dog them out, and I'm not the kind of person that wants to control another adult because hell, I got a hard time trying to control my kids. You see what I'm saying? So to spend that energy trying to control a woman, man, that's an exercise in futility or whatever. It's not going to happen, right? So when I've seen or been around women that don't have a strong male around, they mistake themselves as being strong when they're just confrontational. Because they push back every time you say, hey, do this. Nah, you can't tell me. Like, well, then what do you need me around for? If you're not gonna listen to anything I'm saying or everything I say, you got a challenge, I'm the wrong person for you. And I can tell that me asking you questions, because I'm not gonna where you going as far as me trying to be nosy and me not trusting you. It's yo, if I ask you where you're going and what time you're gonna get back, at least if something does happen, I can say she was supposed to have been here and she's supposed to have been back
There,
at this time. Because
there you
you
go.
don't have to be my wife for me to say, you call me, I'm there. Tires burning, screeching, the whole 9 yards. Something gonna happen to somebody. So every woman that I've ever dealt with that has had a strong male figure in their life, my personality didn't bother them at all.
Yeah, and I'm the same, man. Every woman that I've ever dealt with know I'm a two-parent household. My dad was very stern. I picked up on some of those infrastructures of him. So when I'm around women and children, mostly women, I have a dynamic sternness about me. I'm kind of sweet, but I just want to know that you're safe. So, and with that being said, if you didn't answer your phone, was everything all right? Was your battery dead? You know, what was going on that you couldn't get to your phone? I'm not asking just to be all up in your business, but I have a genuine concern, if, especially if you're supposed to be with me and you know and kicking it with me. I just want to know that you're all right. So I called a few times, you didn't answer. Hopefully you're well, you know, and that's just how I am. But like you say, Sherrod, the women that didn't have that strong male figure in their home, it's a lot of
Mm.
pushback when you say, "Hey, text me when you make it in." You know what I'm saying? Or give me a call, let me know you made it home. I don't care how late it is. You know, why I got to do all that? Because I asked you to. Is that so much to ask for? You know what I'm saying? I don't get the pushback from that. You know what I'm saying? So um, to that, yeah, it's not hard. I've been in a relationship. We talk about it all the time, but that's just one of our rules. You know, where you going? You're gonna be. You know, where you going? How long you gonna be? You know, not really how long you're gonna be, but where you going? Because I at least need to know if something go down. I know this is where you were, and if something changes when you're done, don't hesitate to shoot me a text. Say, hey, babe, we left XYZ. I'm going over XYZ right now. You know, and that's just to keep me informed. Because if something happening, you need me. I need to know where the hell I'm going to. You know what I'm saying? That's just all it is. You know. So um, I, I don't. It's just I don't know.
And you know, crazy thing, Will, women will ask, you know, when you get home or when you get there, let me know where you are. Because guess what? Shit happened to men too. And when a
Yeah.
woman asks me, you know, when I was not mature, you know,
Hmm.
and comfortable in certain spaces, woman asking me a question like, where you going? None of your business. Now, you know, it's more or less, okay, where you going? Hey, I'm gonna shoot here, this, woo, 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 woo. You know, or well, let me know when you get home. Text me when you get home or call me when you get home. And see, instead of taking that as you trying to just see what I'm doing, no, I'm
Yeah.
looking at it, you know, from a more instead of being pessimistic, I'm being optimistic about it and saying, damn, she really care about my fucking safety. So yeah,
There you
I'm gonna
go.
hit you up. I'm gonna go ahead and text you or whatever. Because if I get in too late, I'm not calling you and waking you up, but I'll text you, let you know, hey,
Yeah.
I made it in. I'm safe. The whole 9 yards. And I've learned to understand a lot of things now that back in the day it was just like I had this one track mind of oh hell no, you just trying to figure out what I'm doing, who I'm with, and this and that and the other, as opposed to being on the more positive side of that. She just want to know I'm okay because guess what? She's concerned about my safety. She really gives a fuck, you know. And
Yep.
in this day and time, I ain't even gonna lie to you. When a woman, you know, when my lady says, "Hey, hit me up. Let me know you made it." Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
Now, in this, because in this day and time, it seems like a lot of women just don't give a fuck, you know, or pretend to.
Yeah.
Mm.
When somebody really genuinely gives a fuck about you, it's like, man, you know what? That's some cool shit. You know, that's the shit that you really want. You know, somebody that gives a damn.
Yeah. Facts.
I agree. So it can go either ways for women, for me anyway. So I've been in relationships with men that have been extremely controlling. And why didn't you answer your phone call was delivered in an aggressive manner that let me know it wasn't about me, it was about them. I grew up with a man that I believe to be my father. although he was around, he still wasn't fatherly. I missed out on a lot of things that fathers provide for their daughters. Um, so when a man says, "Why didn't you answer your phone?" To me, it depends on how he says it, because I can tell when it's coming from a place of genuine concern and when it's coming from a place of control. I've been on both sides of that spectrum. I want somebody to check in on me. I want somebody who cares about my overall well being. I want somebody who is concerned with my safety. And I'm not talking about just my physical safety, I'm talking about my emotional safety. I'm talking about my spiritual safety. I want that person to take care of me in every way. And I'm not talking about me financially. I'm talking about, although financially would be nice, I'm talking about in other ways that a person can take care of their partner. um, so I don't know that it has to do with women being fatherless. I'm not done the research, and I don't have the data for that. But it makes sense if you don't know what a father who cares about you looks like or sounds like. That might seem like control to you.
Mhm.
Um, but also, if you are aware, if you're self aware, if you're paying attention, if you're emotionally mature, you can tell the difference between control and care. I believe myself to be that person. I can tell the difference between control and care. I know when a man cares about me by how he handles me, how he uses his words, how he speaks to me, and how he speaks about me. I'm willing to allow a man to lead. Hell, please do. I'm tired of doing the heavy lifting. I want a man to lead, but I want a man to lead in a particular way. Not that I'm trying to control how a man does a thing. It's just that I have parameters on how I will be handled in a relationship. So I would prefer not to be handled as a subordinate. I want to be handled in a way that a partner handles their partner who they love and care about. And these are things I think that need to be discussed prior to a serious exclusive relationship. These Babe, I need you to can you please just call me when you get to your destination? It's as simple as saying that. And then when he says, "How come you didn't call me?" or "Why didn't you answer your phone?" I know we've already talked about this. Damn, babe, I'm sorry. I ain't have reception, or, whatever the reason may be. But for me, it's all in how you handle me. You can get all the answers that you want. You can get all the answers that you need, um, as long as you're speaking to me with respect and not diminishing who I am as a person, and not trying to berate or belittle me in any way. And because I can't have somebody that's trying to talk down to me and treat me like their child. And there are men out here who do that. I was with one for a few years. And it's like, when you're with a person like that, you're always walking on eggshells because you can't get it right, because there's no pleasing people like that. They always want to find something to fuss about or control. They want you to be something other than who you are. And then they are upset with you for being what you really are, which goes against who they think you should be. So, I don't, like I said, I don't know if this has to do with being fatherless at all. But for me, yes, I want my man to check in on me. And sometimes, y'all, I want my man to fucking check me if I'm wrong. Like, let me know when the fuck I done, made an error.
And then do, because we do.
And
Trust me.
yeah, and then give me the space to correct it,
There
you
you go.
know? I don't have any problem with that if I'm in a real partnership with somebody and I'm invested and they're invested. If I know that we're invested in this thing, if I know that we're invested in one another, I'm not going to have an issue with a request that you're making of me because I know that your request is not to my detriment. So, so yeah, I don't have a problem with this, but I
Accountability
do.
goes both ways.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I'm gonna look more into this because it makes logical sense though. And this also makes logical sense to me. So it makes logical sense that a woman or a girl who's not grown up in the house with a man who's a leader and takes charge and knows what a man does in a household, in a home, in a relationship, may not necessarily recognize that when it shows up for her. I get that. And also, it's the same thing with love and relationships. If you didn't grow up with love, you might not know what that looks like when it shows up for you. You might take that based upon how you were loved. And I know y'all seen this on social media where it says there are some people who grew up on love and some people who grew up on survival. And those people who grew up on survival don't know what to do with love when they get it because they didn't grow up on that. They don't know what it feels like. They don't know what it looks like. And I know for me, I have been in certain relationships where I show up with all the love, and I've shown up with all the love for men who aren't used to that. So they have viewed what I come to the table with as disingenuous because they had never experienced it before. And they can't believe it. I can't believe you this way. It's like they're waiting on the other shoe to drop. And for me, it's no other shoe to drop. This is it. I'm genuine. This is how it is for me. And even with my fiance, it took a long time for him to recognize that this is who I am. He was dying before he recognized that unconditional love is a real thing and that, he could have it. So I can see the point that she makes when she says if they don't know what it looks like, they can't recognize it when it shows up.
Yeah.
I
But
got
for
a
me, yeah,
I got a
check in on
book,
me.
The Importance of a Father to a Daughter. One of the head administrators at the Salvation Army had given it to me because we were supposed to do a program together to help the men that were in the program see their daughters and children, but daughters especially, didn't go through.
Mhm.
But she gave me the book, really, really, really good book. And I've just put up an article, and it speaks on the fatherless daughter syndrome, the effects of an absent father on a girl. And it says the importance of a father. Fathers hold a significant role in their daughters' lives, providing love, guidance, and support. Their presence helps shape a child's self-esteem, sense of self, self-esteem, and confidence. A father's influence contributes to healthy emotional development and formation of secure attachments. And then when it goes down to the trust and intimacy issues, the absence of a father's consistent presence can create challenges in forming and maintaining healthy relationships. Fatherless daughters may struggle with trust issues, fearing abandonment or rejection. They might find it difficult to open up, express vulnerability, and establish meaningful connections with others. Now, father hunger and longing for paternal love. I mean, there's some statistics, when you look at the percentage of girls and boys without fathers in jail or whatever, there's this piece that's always missing. When you hear older people talk about, I can tell you what it was like for those 20 years without my father.
Mm-hmm.
Those mistakes that I made trying to just figure it out on my own instead of having his guidance there, strong hand guidance there saying, no, bro, don't do that. I had my brother there, but, my brother my age, so we out wilding together. All the older cats
Mhm.
out there like, come on, young, It wasn't until a few years later that we got into a group with older men that was like, look, young man, yo, calm down. And all the things they were telling me, because I was wilding out too much, all the things that they were telling me, my father had already said. So when you speak to young girls, especially ones that's very promiscuous, and you see that the majority of them don't have that father figure, like what's the song, Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places? You know, that's what I find. I find a lot of promiscuous young ladies, and it's data to back it up, that fatherlessness impacted them in such a way that I'm looking for something that I think I see in you, and they a lot of times pick the wrong motherfucker. You know, they give
Yep.
their
That was
trust.
me.
Okay, so they give their trust, their love to the wrong people time and time again. That's why we say, well, for me, that's why I say body count matter to me, because what caused that? Are you healed from that? I don't that number shit. Nah, whatever. This, it affected this, it affected this, and it affected your spirituality. Are you healed from that? And so when I see young women out here that move a certain way, you could tell, oh, they had a strong man around them. Because when they come at you, like, what do you mean you can't fix a tire? My dad can fix a tire. My brothers can do this,
Baby.
because they're used to a certain standard.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yep.
tell my daughters, if that nigga don't open the door for you, y'all ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't walk
Straight
on the
up.
outside? You know what I'm saying? Oh, when he opened the door for you to the house, he's supposed to go in first, because whatever
First.
bullet come
Yep.
flying, he's supposed to take him first. When he take you to the restaurant, he seat you. Your back is to the
Yeah.
door. His vision is to the door, so he know
There you
anything that
go.
happen. You got to trust him enough when he
Come
say,
on.
"Baby, get down."
Yeah.
Those are the
Come on.
things. It's not me trying to control you, because sometimes I ain't got time to explain to you what the fuck it is I'm about to do.
There you
Baby,
go.
just walk this way, because I'm about to smash this bottle and do shit, and I want you out the way because this is going down. Don't be, but
Yeah.
why? Nigga, just get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? We need you just to trust me. If I'm about
Yeah.
to open him up, I don't want you to see this. I don't want you to see this side of me, because it's ugly.
Mhm.
Get out of here. So that when women don't have fathers, you can tell, because they challenge you a lot.
A
From
lot.
my experience, because I've dealt with both. You know, and then I've dealt with the women that had soft fathers,
Hmm.
and I think that's sometimes worse than them not having a father, because that soft father
Really.
ruined them to the point where you think I'm gonna be like that nigga? Oh hell no, no, I can't do that.
No.
Yeah, I agree because in my dating life, prior to, me being and healed and matured and all of that, and this has got to be in my 20s and my early 30s. I allowed much more than I should have allowed from men. And had I had the guidance of a real and present
Okay.
father, I would not have done that. I would have that would have alleviated a whole bunch of shit for the first decade and a half of my adult life. It really would have. I needed the guidance of a strong, um, resourceful, mature man to tell me to put me up on game, tell me how to move around in the world as a woman dealing with men. And I made a lot of mistakes as a result of that. I did, and I can admit that. And I knew exactly, like, my father was unavailable, and I always dated unavailable men. It was a
Mm.
subconscious thing. These are the men that I picked, and these are the men that I allowed the pleasure of my company, because that's what I knew. That's what I was used to. And so, and my father did some fucked up shit to me, all of us. And so I allowed men to do fucked up shit to me, because if my daddy did it, then why the fuck not? He can too. I mean, I didn't know how to articulate that, these things were rooted in my subconscious. I didn't even know that I was doing these things. And it wasn't until I had gone to therapy that, I had to even address those issues. And it was like, damn, I learned a lot about myself and that. So yeah, I agree with that. When you don't have the balance of a two parent situation, and if you don't have the balance that comes from those two parents being emotionally, intellectually, and mentally stable, you will end up being fucked up until it's time for you to fix yourself.
Yeah.
For real.
And when she was saying something about a man wants to provide and protect for his lady or his
Mm,
woman, I attest to that because my daughter, who will be 30 next month, I can't believe that, but I was a womanizer growing up. Shirai, you know how we used to get down, boy. I had the
I don't
ladies
know
on deck.
about
You
you.
know what I'm
No,
saying?
don't be putting me in that shit.
I set up, man. But
you
no,
Virgo men, I've dated one Virgo man, and y'all know why. I have
but
not dated another one.
long story short, I hit my daughter to game. At a young age, I started telling her, this is what men gonna say, this is what men gonna do, this is what they trying to get to. And to this day, not to put her business out there, she's a 30-year-old virgin. She's like,
Mm,
I don't have the time or the bandwidth to deal with men right now. And all because I gave her the game early. I say, I didn't sugarcoat nothing. You 13 years old. You starting to blossom. Little guys are gonna be looking, and as you go on through life, this is what they're going to say and how they're going to move. So the type of guy that you want is a type of guy that you respect like your dad. For the most part, they got to have some type of qualities that make you say, "Oh wow, he remind me of my dad." In a way, not saying that
mm-hmm,
you want a daddy figure, but you want some of those qualities, and that's what I always told her. I say, if he doesn't look like or act like a certain way, opening doors for you that I've been doing all my life. She's never put gas in the car unless I'm not around. And she does it. It's like Shirai was saying, pull out the chair for him, open the doors. She knows that because I've showed her that. You understand what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? So now, in looking for or whomever comes her way, she has an idea of how someone's supposed to, because she's been looking at me for 30 years. She see how I
Hmm.
treat my wife. She see how I treat other women in my life. Period. Because I treat all women with respect. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I love women. I would go to bat for women. You know what I'm saying? Because that's our job in a way to protect the women. Some of them don't want to be protected, but that's on them. I'm gonna
That's
carry
on
their ass
them,
up and keep
right?
it moving.
But I will
But
say this though.
yeah,
Most Virgo men that I know how to treat a woman. And that's it's good, but it can also be dangerous if he's a certain type of man.
right.
If he's a womanizer, that's used as a tool for manipulation.
Yep.
But if he's solid, I think Virgo men know what to do in relationships. But there are two types of Virgo men. There are ones who want to manipulate for their own benefit, and there are ones who are genuinely lovers of women who want to take care of women.
I grew into that. I started out as a woman, I did not knowing because I saw the man in my life doing certain things that I thought that was the way I was supposed to be. That subconscious you were talking about. So, when
Mm-hmm.
you got pimps and hustlers in your life and you see multiple women running around and they have a significant other, but also have somebody else in their life, and you think, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm supposed to do. So when you start growing up, you figure that's how life is until you realize, oh, it's not cool to be like that unless you're in a polyamorous type relationship. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's something that I grew into and had to learn over the years as I've gotten older. So
I mean,
Yes.
it was
Okay.
easy.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it was easy to fall into that that trap of things, and that's why I warn young men. We talk about the damage that a high body count does to women. There's also damage to a young man's psyche when you jump from woman to woman to woman to woman. It's like you got sexual ADHD, right? You just cannot
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
focus on one woman. And it took years, man, to just even say, you know what, man, just even fathom the thought of one woman, right?
Mm,
And it's like, because what I hear on the internet, with women talking about, you got to pay me to, like, you do, because to me, coochie has always been free, right? And I've never in my life had a problem with saying, yo, if I, it's like if I can't speak on it, I ain't gonna spend on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I grew up around those guys, man, that were players. They were, like you said, real pimps, players, hustlers. I grew up around real dudes that handled real situations in a manner that you'd be like, damn, I gotta be like that. I gotta
Exactly.
roll like that. You know, dude step to you in a certain way, you step to him back. You meet that energy. Female step to you in a certain way, shorty, be out, be easy. Because I was always taught it's too much ass out here. You can get pussy quicker than a hot meal. So why am I gonna sit here and
Come on.
stress out over you running your mouth when I could just be out? So I'm telling young men just from experience, bruh, slow down. You know,
Yeah.
women are here, and they'll always be. There's more women than there are men.
Yeah.
Just just
Trust.
just by sheer
Know
numbers.
that.
And spend your time and energy becoming the better version of yourself,
Come on.
right? And that's what I would tell young women. Like, yo, dig this. Spend your time becoming the best version of yourself. You got to realize you got to make yourself a priority to yourself, right? A young woman should not be thinking about, oh, do my ass look fat? Am I getting this? Fuck that attention, because the woman that gets the most attention is the woman that don't seek attention. Now everybody want to know,
Hmm.
hold on, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold
Yeah,
on.
that's real
They
talk.
over there shaking their ass and
Yeah.
say, how come she ain't doing that? Now I need to get to know her.
And I have Yeah, that's my experience, y'all.
It's
It is.
facts.
I've always played the background and
It's
I've
facts.
always gotten a lot of attention to the angst of a lot of females. Like they look at me like, why the fuck they pick her? Because I'm not you. That's why.
Exactly. And we
Well,
that's what we're
we picking
that's what
you
we attract.
because we done had her.
We done seen that. If they doing all that
Mhm.
for all that, why the fuck would I want them? Because they doing it like that right now. They gonna continue doing that even when they get with me. I ain't got time for that bullshit. But guess what? You making sexy look good because you are dressed the proper way. You giving me something to the imagination where I can look and just say, man, I wonder how she'll look out them clothes. Yeah,
Hey,
you
Will.
understand what I'm saying? Instead of I
Mhm.
already know how she gonna look out them clothes. I don't. Come on,
Hey,
it's the challenge of it. Like, ooh, okay, Miss
sexy
Riggs, I see you.
and sexual are different. There's a
Yes.
Yes.
lot of women out here that dress sexual. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, but it's not sexy or classy. But there's a lot of
No, at
women out
all.
here that are classy and sexy at the same time. That
Baby.
have, I can see a woman dressed to the nines, just looking
Come
smooth,
on.
nothing showing. But like, damn, it's the way she carry
Yes.
herself. You know, you can't hide curves. I don't give a damn how big the fucking
Come
clothes you
on,
put
bruh.
on.
Hey,
You ain't
she
hiding
Not
can
them
at
have
all.
on
curves.
a whole Birkin,
Yeah.
whatever you call it, covered from head to toe. If she
Hey,
got ass
I'm a
splits and
man.
all of
I
that,
got X-ray vision. I see the curves. I already see that shit.
right.
I'm trained to understand that. Oh damn!
Baby.
You see the way she walked? That it's going like this.
That thing.
That shit like a motor. Boom, 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 boom. So I know you got an ass. And then when I turn around, you turn to the side. I'm like, damn. She got the letter P in the front. She got the
Come on,
F
man.
in the like damn.
Come on, bruh.
She got
Speak
she
on
got
it.
the alphabets, right? So I already know you strapped up. But now you carrying yourself like your body is not your top asset? Oh man,
Man.
that's some sexy shit. Her mind is the shit that
Woo.
she promotes first. Or
Bruh.
who I am. This body is a body. Yeah, I know I look good, but guess what? You're gonna have to get to know this and this. That's when you
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, shit.
That's the whole challenge behind it, man. It's like, ooh, really?
That's the
You
shit
can
you
hold a
dig.
conversation, baby. Okay. I
Okay, world. Well, there you have it. What do you think? What do you think about how a man checks in on his woman? When he asked, "How come you didn't answer your phone?" How should a woman respond? And do fatherless women tend to respond differently than women who have had fathers? Hit us up, put it in the comments, let us know what you think. Additionally, if you long-winded, put it in an email to virgoverdict.com at no, virgoverdict at gmail.com. And in the meantime, y'all like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.
Deuces, baby.